Picture this. You're waiting for the elevator at work or in your apartment building. The doors open, and inside is an acquaintance. Not a close friend, just someone you vaguely know. You step inside, the doors close, and suddenly you are trapped in a metal box of pure psychological torture. Then it happens. They look at you, smile awkwardly, and say the dreaded words, "Crazy weather we're having lately, huh?" Inside your mind, alarms are going off. Your brain desperately searches for a response, but all you can manage is a forced, painful smile as you hear yourself say, "Yeah, haha, really crazy." You then stare at the floor indicator, silently praying for the elevator to move faster. 3, 2, 1. You escape, feeling completely drained from a 30-second interaction. Why does this happen? Why does a simple conversation about the weather, the weekend, or office gossip feel so suffocating to you? Society has a very quick label for this. They call you shy, awkward, or worse, antisocial, and arrogant. People assume you think you are better than them, or that you just don't like human beings. And if you hear this enough times, you start to believe it. You lie in bed at night feeling guilty, asking yourself, why is it so hard for me to just be normal? Why can't I just effortlessly chat with people like everyone else does? But here's the truth that nobody tells you. You do not lack social skills. You do not hate people. And you are certainly not broken. You just have a brain that is fundamentally wired to reject empty data. And by the end of this video, you are going to stop feeling guilty for walking away from conversations. And you will realize that your rapidly draining social battery is actually a sign of deep neurological efficiency. To understand why small talk exhausts you, we have to look at what you are actually doing during these conversations. For the majority of the population, small talk is effortless. It runs on autopilot. When someone asks an extrovert, "How was your weekend?" they don't have to think. The words just flow out. It's a subconscious script playing in the background. But your brain doesn't have that autopilot feature for trivial things. When someone asks you, "How are you?" your brain actually pauses and tries to process the question literally. It thinks, well, how am I? I'm stressed about the future. I'm thinking about the meaning of life, and I'm tired. But you know you can't say that. Society dictates that you must play the game. So you have to manually construct a fake, acceptable response. You have to force the corners of your mouth up into a smile. You have to calculate the exact amount of eye contact to make so you don't look weird. You have to throw in an "oh wow, really?" or a "that's crazy" at the exact right intervals to show you are listening. You are not having a conversation. You are putting on a theatrical performance. You are wearing a heavy, suffocating social mask. And manually overriding your brain's natural state to perform this script takes an unbelievable amount of cognitive energy. It is like running a high-end video game on a computer with a low-tier graphics card. The fan spins out of control, the system overheats, and eventually it crashes. This is exactly why you can physically feel your energy leaving your body at a networking event or a crowded party. Now, let's look at the actual science behind this. Why do extroverts gain energy from a crowded room while you lose it? It all comes down to two very powerful neurotransmitters in your brain, dopamine and acetylcholine. Extroverts have a brain that is highly responsive to dopamine. Dopamine is the reward and excitement chemical. For them, every new face, every loud noise, and every trivial conversation acts like a slot machine paying out a jackpot of dopamine. They are like wind turbines. The more wind, the more social interaction blows their way, the more energy they generate. But your brain is different. As a deep thinker, your brain is highly sensitive to dopamine. Too much of it doesn't make you excited. It makes you overstimulated, anxious, and exhausted. Instead, your brain runs on a completely different fuel, acetylcholine. This is the neurotransmitter linked to deep thinking, reflection, intense focus, and meaningful connection. Acetylcholine is released when you are reading a book, solving a complex problem, or having a deep, profound conversation with one person in a quiet room. You are not a wind turbine. You are a highly advanced, rechargeable battery. When you are in a loud room forced to talk about the weather, you are burning your battery power with zero way to recharge. The only way you can plug back into the wall and recharge your system is through silence, solitude, and depth. That intense need to leave the party early and go sit in your quiet room isn't you being antisocial. It is literally your biological system flashing a red, low battery warning, demanding that you plug back in before a total system shutdown. We call this the introvert hangover, or social hangover. That physical exhaustion you feel the day after a big social event, where you just need to lie in the dark and not speak to a single soul. But here is the ultimate proof that you are not broken. Here is the paradox that confuses everyone around you. People think you are quiet, but what happens when you meet someone who skips the small talk? What happens when someone sits down next to you and instead of asking about your weekend, they ask you about your biggest childhood fear? What happens when they bring up psychology, the mysteries of the universe, a niche hobby you are obsessed with, or the true meaning behind a movie? Suddenly, the quiet person disappears. Your eyes light up. Your posture changes. You can suddenly talk for 5 hours straight, at 2 a.m., without feeling tired for a single second. In fact, you feel energized. This is the absolute proof. You don't hate people. You hate the barrier between people. Small talk is the barrier. It is the superficial wrapping paper around the gift. You don't want to talk about the weather, because the weather doesn't tell you anything about who that person truly is, what hurts them, or what they dream about. Your brain refuses to swim in the shallow end of the pool because it was biologically designed to dive to the bottom of the ocean. You are seeking the source code of human connection. To you, spending energy on small talk is like spending $1,000 on a single piece of candy. It is a terrible return on investment for your energy. So, how do we use this knowledge? First, by dropping the immense guilt you carry. Stop apologizing for who you are. Stop feeling bad for putting your headphones on during your lunch break just to get some peace. Stop feeling guilty for declining an invitation to a loud, crowded bar where you won't be able to hear a single word anyway. Your inability to tolerate small talk is actually a powerful filter. It is an evolutionary superpower that protects your precious energy. Because you don't waste your time talking to 100 people about nothing, you have the capacity to form unbreakable, deeply loyal bonds with a few carefully chosen people about everything. You don't have 100 acquaintances, you have 3 friends who would literally hide a body for you, and that is a superior survival strategy. Society needs the extroverts to work the room, to make the introductions, and to keep the surface-level gears turning. But society needs you to form the deep connections, to analyze the unspoken truths, and to understand the profound depths of the human experience. Next time you are stuck in that elevator and someone asks you about the weather, just give them that polite smile, give your scripted answer, and remind yourself, I am not broken. I am just saving my battery for a conversation that actually matters. Now I want you to be totally honest. What is the most ridiculous excuse you have ever made up just to escape a draining social event or a small talk trap? Let's laugh about it in the comments below. Remember, you are never alone. The frequency of deep thinkers is just a little bit higher here. Subscribe to Psychology Validated, and I'll see you in the next video.